I am Robbie Jenkins. I'm here for my Week 7 case study. I have chosen Fabia versus Indiana University of Pennsylvania, United States District Court, February 4th, 1993. This case is a class action lawsuit brought by the women of IUP alleging systemic discrimination on the basis of gender in IUP's athletic program. The plaintiffs had been members of the women's gymnastics and field hockey teams. They were representing all the women athletes that are participating, future participants, and women that might be deterred from participating in IUP athletic programs. The defendants in this case were IUP, the school, Dr. Lawrence Pettit, school president, Frank Signetti, director of athletics. The plaintiffs were seeking an injunction to have the two teams reinstated and to prohibit IUP from cutting any more women's sports. They were going to cut the women's gymnastics team and the field hockey team. IUP is a university within the Pennsylvania State of Higher Education. They are federally funded, which means they fall under the mandate of Title IX. In 1991, IUP had 10,793 students, 4,790 men, 6,003 women, making 55.61% of IUP population women. In 1991, there was a budget crisis at IUP. Funding was cut in state and federal money, and the university administration advised various departments to make cuts in their budget. They asked that the athletic department cut $350,000 from its budget. The announcement was made that women's gymnastics and field hockey teams were going to be cut, and men's soccer team and tennis teams were also going to be cut. Prior to the cutbacks in 1991, IUP had 503 athletes and their athletic teams, 313 males and 190 women. The percentage for females was at 37.77% compared to the 55.61% of the total women population for the university. After the cutbacks, there were roughly 397 athletes, 248 males and 149 women, bringing the total percentage for females to 36.51% for the total population of the university. Before the cutbacks, there were 9 sports for both women and men. After they cut the 4 activities, 2 for women, 2 for men, they cut that back to 7 for both women and men. IUP stated that the cutting of the programs was because they were no longer viable, citing a national trend of decline in women's gymnastics and field hockey. IUP also stated that there was a rise in the participation in women's soccer, and the university was planning to put in women's soccer in the future, replacing gymnastics and field hockey if the budget became better. The plaintiffs presented their case stating that in 1991-92 there were 37% women and 63% men athletes. After dropping the 2 programs, the percentage dropped women to 36% and men increased in number to 64%. They also had many witnesses, including Ms. Podbelski, who was a retired associate director at IUP. She cited a number of inequities at IUP, including scholarships for football and basketball were higher than any other sport. She claimed that the baseball field was in better shape than the women's softball field. There was another witness, Miss Christine Grant, who was an expert in equity in sports. After looking at the IUP situation and looking into the Title IX situation, she recommended that IUP reallocate resources, appoint a committee to draw up a 5-year plan for athletics, and immediately reinstate the women's gymnastics and field hockey teams. When it comes to scholarships, women's sports also fell short compared to the men's sports. In 1990-91, the university awarded $300,014.178 in scholarships. Of this amount, men received $246,755. Women received $67,423, or 21% for women compared to 79% for men. IUP stated that the cuts were needed because of the budget crisis. They were running into money trouble, so they made the cuts to the 4 programs, 2 of them being women's. They felt they maintained equality by cutting 2 men's sports as well as the 2 women's sports. And they also, again, made the comment that they were going to move women's soccer to varsity status as soon as the budget would allow it to happen. What the courts found. For the court to rule on a motion for a preliminary injunction, they must consider 4 factors. The likelihood that plaintiffs will prevail on the merits of their claims, the extent to which plaintiffs are being irreparably harmed, the extent to which defendants will suffer irreparable harm if the preliminary injunction is issued, and whether the public interest favors the entry of the preliminary injunction. The plaintiffs must produce evidence sufficient to convince the court that all 4 factors favor preliminary relief should the preliminary injunction be issued. And this is a burden of proof on the plaintiffs. The court also looked at the language of Title IX and also looked at the 3-pronged test for whether an educational institution complies with the duty to provide equality in intercollegiate athletics. Those 3 prongs are 1, whether intercollegiate level participation opportunities for male and female students are provided in numbers substantially proportionate to the respective enrollments, or number 2, whether the members of one sex have been and are underrepresented among intercollegiate athletics, whether the institution can show a history and continuing practice of program expansion, which is demonstrably responsive to the developing interests and abilities of the members of that sex, or number 3, whether the members of one sex are underrepresented among intercollegiate athletes and the institution cannot show a continuing practice of program expansion such as that cited above, whether it can be demonstrated and the interests and abilities of the members of that sex have been fully and effectively accommodated by the present program. The district court decided that IUP was not in compliance with Title IX. IUP didn't fulfill prong 1, the proportionality prong of the 3 prongs, because the cuts resulted in further decrease in the amount of female athletes. They failed in prong 2 because they were not in compliance with the continual practice or expanding athletic opportunities. And they failed in number 3 because they could not show that female athletes had their interests and abilities accommodated to. Because IUP failed all 3 prongs, the court agreed with the plaintiffs and demanded the women's gymnastics and field hockey teams be reinstated. So they came out on the good for that. As an athletic administrator, you need to make sure you are aware of Title IX and how it will affect your programs. There's a lot to Title IX that you need to be aware of. And when looking to make cuts, 2 programs, you need to make sure that you are following the mandates of Title IX and are aware of the 3 prongs that you must meet. We want everything to be fair and equal for all athletes, and this could keep you out of having any type of lawsuit against you. Thank you.